Why struggle with a man? Why would I be doing bad with a man when I can do bad all by myself, or I can do better by myself? You don't have teamwork skills. You don't work well with others. Bitch, you don't know how to communicate. Ho, you don't know how to operate in a household where everything don't just go your way. That is why you do better by yourself. If you don't acquire the skills to work well with others, bitch, you won't be able to do better with others. If you can't take personal accountability for your choices, you will be in a space where it will feel like it's worse with a partner than it is by yourself.
I'm gonna give it 5/8. Like,
Do you think that women rather be single because they don't have relationship skills or they don't have team building skills?
I think for the most part, I think people probably lack relationship skills, but I think that women, the way we're raised, building teamwork skills are not necessarily like at the top of the list. Like for instance, like if you have a son and a daughter, that son is being raised. When y'all walk up to a door, you open the door for your sister. You know, if something happens, you put your sister on the inside of you if y'all walking on the street. So I think men are kind of like specifically trained to think not of themselves first. You know,
Yeah.
and so I think that it sort of translates, and women are opposite. We know that men are, you know, sort of indoctrinated, if you will, with men thinking of not thinking of themselves first. So it essentially puts women first. So I think if you always have this I'm first mentality, then why would you have any inclination to have teamwork skills?
I've been on this show for about 4+ years, maybe 5, and I've probably been with Erin for a few years, and this is the best thing she's ever said.
Shut up.
I just wholeheartedly agree, and I think that's the problem. To answer the question, Alan, when we talk about do women have poor relationship skills
Team building.
or poor team building skills, I think similar to what Erin said, everybody has poor skills. But I think the poorest part of women when it comes to relationships is the willingness. It's a willingness skill that is not there, that is being lacked and is not present. So, and that's because everything is built for the woman, right? Men provide for women. Men get jobs for women and family. Men are with the woman to have a family, or, you know, no judgment zone.
Oh, yeah.
You know
I
what
mean,
I'm saying? Heterosexual relationships. So now what happens is like she said, why would I think of anybody else? And I feel like in my personal life, that's my biggest issue when I date, you know, because I've actually had an opposite, because I had a woman put me first my whole life, being that I had a single parent predominantly in my life, which was my mother. So now if I have somebody who is able to care and cater about me, that's the same gender that I'm dating, I'm expecting the same thing, you know, and maybe I could be the one that's insane, right? Because the normality is that's not how it goes. But my life has told me that they are capable, and some of them are willing to actually cater to you and or help you out or be a team player and know what being a team player is. And yeah.
So I have a question. So if we're saying that it kind of generally starts at home, it's a societal thing, how do we curb that? Does that mean that parents need to start teaching their children that men aren't supposed to like protect and men aren't supposed to provide? Like, what does that look like if we're saying this is the solution? What does it look like?
I think that's very important for people to understand what time frame we're in. When people are confused about what time frame they're in, and I said this before, they're trying to pick and choose what part of the time frames that they want to run with, and it's not going to work that way. Now, if men are going to provide and protect for everything, then we should be going back to 30 to 50, 60, 70 years of the way life was, right? And nowadays, at least in America, I can say, it is a 2-parent working household majority, right? I don't care what race, ethnicity is you are, that's the reality of the situation. 2 people need to work, 2 people need to contribute, 2 people need to, you know, produce for the household and the family as a team. Granted, you do have your anomalies. There is a good, 10% that you can live a different type of lifestyle. But for the realistic and the odds, the reality is you both are going to have to contribute. So your typical gender roles are not realistic. You're a woman, you're going to have to provide too. I'm providing, you're providing, we're providing, and it's not about me providing for you. And it's not about you providing for me. Are we committed to us? Right? Are we going to provide for us? Right? Everybody's so singular-minded that it's like, if I can't give to you, I'm not worthy. But then again, you can't give to me, so you're not worthy. So we're never going to have a solution here unless we understand that we need to give to us. And then if us have a family, that is part of us as well. This household, everything that falls underneath this household, everybody needs to provide for. Everybody needs to protect it in different ways. Listen, if you're a mother, you protect this family. How do you protect this family? You don't go out there twerking with your kid in the club. That's how you protect this family. You're protecting our image. You're protecting our integrity. Okay, how am I going to protect this family? No man is going to walk in here and touch anybody. So now we're both protecting. We're both providing. And that's the only way that we really need to have, only mindset that we can have to really have a solution.
Question. So men, and I'm just going off what you just said, so do men not have a responsibility to protect the image of their family?
I'm not saying that they don't. I was just giving a example because we already know how the critics are. If I say women protect, they're going to be like, well, how am I supposed to protect? You're supposed to be the man. Well, one of the ways that you can protect is through this. When there are different ways that you can protect, everybody needs to protect the integrity of everything. But I think that the word protect has been pushed as a men-only obligation.
Question, who's pushing that? Because I ain't gonna lie, in the comments, they be like, well, what you gonna do when somebody break in your house? First of all, like, no one's breaking into most people's houses. Like, what are the chances of that happening in most cases? Like, the chances of somebody having to provide, that's every single day.
Yeah.
Is anybody under threat of having their house broken into every day? No. Like, so I'm just saying, these are the retorts that men are saying in the comments, so I'm just wondering.
There's also another sense of protecting for men. For example, when we're out in a club, right? Or not a club, scratch that. Let's have a little more class and say we're out.
There's classy clubs.
Whatever. We're out at Whole Foods, okay? We're at Whole Foods. Okay, and
Whole Foods is classy.
Me and Aaron are looking for
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Wegmans is more classy.
I love me some.
Right?
Really?
Shout out to Wegmans. Wegmans is way more classy
I shop
than.
at Wegmans, but I definitely think Whole Foods is a little bit. I think the produce at Wegmans are better.
Maybe the Westchester Wegmans is just better.
No, Wegmans is. I think
Very high class, right?
is the height.
You see how they get me off side? Anyways,
Go ahead.
Sorry.
what I'm trying to say is the way we protect is something like, let's say we're at a place like Whole Foods. It's not a club or Wegmans. Pick a place. I don't care. That's going to be a common ground for a lot of people.
The park.
No, not really the park. I mean, because if you think about the situation that I'm going to say.
Okay, all right. Okay, we're at Whole Foods.
We're in a grocery store. We're grocery shopping, right? And there's a man, and maybe he does say something very disrespectful to you, and you feel as if it was disrespectful. Now it's a man's job to protect and comfort her. How can that go? I'm not saying he has to get physically violent, but he must speak up.
What are the odds of that?
I mean, if you live in New York, New Jersey, men will do a lot. I mean, I can't put their business out there, but there was a situation where a guy kept looking at one of my friend's girls, right? And he noticed it, and he didn't say anything. But then when he started to, like, adjust his seating to continue to look, he had to speak up about it, And the thing is, like, some women don't care. Some women do care. Some women do care that if a man keeps on looking at her a certain type of way, she might feel uncomfortable. And it's that man's job to be like, yo, listen, you know what I'm saying? I understand, whatever. Can you please stop doing that? Shout out Malcolm Mays.
Oh, shout out.
Right? Because he brought this up. And they were all for it, okay? When the dude gets mad because you curve him. And now he's going crazy, disrespecting you. okay, you want a man to protect you in that sense, right? We talked about men protecting for that.
Well, I just want to be left alone. Like,
No, it's already here. He's
Okay.
committed. He's well, F you blue do 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 blue do 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 do. Hella B words. That's what I'm trying to do. You gonna want somebody to protect you, and it's not usually gonna be a woman that's gonna be able to fight a man.
Just want to insert, generally another man is not present at that time. That's why he feels he has the ability.
that's a good
That's
point.
not
to do
true.
that.
No, he said beat dudes up.
No, no, that's not what he said. Like, generally, when a man oversteps because there's not another man there, so he's like, it's like, oh, this food is left open, I'm gonna go ahead. Like,
Nah,
that's not
true.
a
I didn't see
good.
that happen in the middle of New York City. I didn't see it happen in Manhattan. I actually seen it happen around the corner from our old loft. And there's men present. There's a lot of people present.
do you generally, when you look at people you know,
Yes.
do you feel like most men are going to be okay with not, let's hold on.
being a sole provider,
I don't want to say soul, because soul is very hard these days. So maybe like
majority?
70-30 or like 60-40? No, 70-30.
Is he on the 30 and she's on the 70, or is he on the 70 and she's on the 30?
Let's say that she's 70 and he's 30.